LifeVantage. Find your personal and professional freedom by partnering with LifeVantage.
Jeff Cassar is going to make 5 changes coming off that 0-0 draw at home against New England Revolution. Attinella in goal, Wingard on the left-hand side, Sturzer alongside Beckerman. Jordan Allen pulls the strings, Plata on one side, Burrito on the other. Yuramov Sisian spearheads the attack for Roberto Mancini. Handanovic in goal, keep an eye on Kondogbia and Felipe Melo. Biabiani on one side, Erkin on the other, and then Mauro Icardi alongside Rodrigo Palacio.
RSL in their home whites tonight. Yuramov Sisian, Takahama Olave, and we are underway. Yura, nice little back heel. RSL, the rare European power coming here. Last time we saw a European power play RSL, it was Real Madrid back in the Rice-Eccles Stadium days. This ball comes into Burrito. And RSL earns their first corner of the match.
A good patience for Real Salt Lake. Again, this Inter Milan team flew in this afternoon from Portland. Keep an eye around the 20th minute mark. That's when the altitude and the heat should really start getting out of the legs of Roberto Mancini's men.
This corner kick brought to you by Mountain America Credit Union. Have 2 times the summer fun with double rewards from Mountain America's Visa credit card. Details at MACU.com. Justin Glad able to get a touch on that. Can't put it on goal. Beckerman recycles. Plata. A little miscommunication there with Sturzer beyond the top of the 18. And a quick counter from Inter Milan. And Icardi is going to be unable to catch up with that. He'll let it go out for a goal kick for Jeff Attinella.
Right, get a good look at the number 11, Jonathan Biabiani, the 28-year-old Frenchman. Second stint back with Inter Milan. Speed, athleticism down that right-hand side. That final ball breaking down the counter-attacking ability for Inter in the final third. But between Icardi and Palacio, this team has a ton of speed up front.
Sturzer, a good ball to Plata. Jordan Allen, target there, a little beyond him.
Howdy.
Doing all right? Good.
How far do you want me to?
Palacio.
Until I get more people.
Back into the middle of the park to Melo.
Okay.
D'Ambrosio will look to overlap down this right-hand side every single time Inter Milan is in possession.
Games that don't come to the other ones. It's international.
Okay.
So this is what we watch for.
I
Erkin.
was just making sure it was okay that I was.
Service in, headed out by Olave. Sturzer.
A little bit of a different role, DJ, for Kanir Erkin down this left-hand side. Turkish international, usually a starting left back. Tonight, asked to play a little bit higher again with guys like Gary Medel, Eder, Ever Banega, Perisic, all still in holiday following Copa America and Euro 2016. Erkin's going to be asked to play in a higher wide left role. Now you see the skill set and the size from Kondogbia, former Sevilla and Monaco player. Left-footed destroyer, but silky smooth in possession as well.
Workers' Compensation Efficiency Report, RSL's first ever meeting with this European club. We saw Everton here to face the MLS All-Stars at Rio Tinto Stadium. First time a European team has been here to face RSL. Movsisian. Plata with a thumbs up.
A second good time from Yuramov Sisian, spreading apart the 2 center backs. Gets goal side of Miranda. Ranocchio is able to come down, cut the angle, and as Yura looks to ping that ball back to the top of the 18-yard box, unfortunately just over the head of Joao Plata.
Switch out right and a lot of space now. So Saldi comes forward. Erkin. Olave there to head it out. Beltran tried to find Ura.
That's good back pressing right there from Jordan Allen. Kondogbia is getting his head up. He's got space in front of him. And as Jordan Allen just applies the pressure from behind, it's that big switch over to the right-hand side. Biabiani and D'Ambrosio looking to just carve open Real Salt Lake in that final third by pushing numbers high down the right-hand side.
Chris Wingard able to clear. Ura checking back with Beckerman, out wide for Plata. Long run for Ura Movsisian. Miranda beating him to the ball.
That's a good read from Miranda, the big center back. Takes down the angle of Ura Movsisian. Calm, cool, collected, keeps possession, able to play out of the back.
Palacio. Erkin back to the middle of the park. Mello. Service in, and Olave able to get a touch and send it through and out. And Inter Milan will have their first corner of the night.
Yeah, an important little touch right there, but you see how quickly Inter Milan can switch the field. Kind of the destroyer role with Felipe Melo. Time and space, the Brazilian opens up, pings the ball to the right-hand side. And then quality service between the penalty spot, top of the six, forces Real Salt Lake for that slight little deflection out for a corner for Inter Milan.
Erkin. Headed out by Ura. Biabiani. Miranda, service in, Antonella out. Spills it, Wingard clears. Sturzer trying to clean it up. Brito battling for position. Mello winning that battle. Inter Milan wanted a quick restart there.
Well, he'll be in the midst of all of this. Felipe Melo, Fiorentina, Juve, Galatasaray back in Serie A to Inter Milan. Brazilian with so much experience, tough in the tackle, very cerebral with his positioning, simplistic with his passing. He's a connector, but he's also the type of player that DJ will absolutely get stuck in when the opportunity presents itself. Second time he's been dumped in the midfield by an RSL player.
Brita, Ura, Beckerman forming a three-man wall. Jeff Attinella lining them up. Attinella watches that go wide. Warm night, not a lot of wind here at Rio Tinto Stadium. Seen a series of very windy games. Been a factor, but not so much, at least not in the early going tonight. American flag at the end of the field, hanging limp, although we see one corner flag off to Jeff Attinella's left. His whipping around, so maybe a little bit of wind over there in that corner. Tony Beltran back to Justin Glad. Chris Wingard, the last little bit of sun left on the field, shielding his eyes there.
Well, tactically, when you look at Roberto Mancini's setup today, and I know it's the first game of preseason, it's the front two applies the first line of pressure between Icardi and Palacio. But if the ball's down the left-hand side for Chris Wingard's feet, you're immediately going to see Biabiani step up and press, so it becomes a front three. There's Mancini. So much experience, so much success as a player. Second stint with Inter Milan with a Man City project kind of sprung in the middle. He's back, and it'll be interesting to see how this club capitalizes on the $300 million investment by the Chinese consortium within the last 12 months and what that means for the future of Inter Milan. Expectations and the conversations, Yaya Toure leaving Manchester City to rejoin Roberto Mancini. He'd be the perfect fit at Inter Milan. What about Mario Balotelli as well? There's been links to João Mario, the Portuguese international that played such a starring role at Euro 2016, and between Candreva and Alex Witsel as well, the Belgium international. There's a lot of big names that are linked to Inter Milan that potentially could find themselves in this jersey within the next 30 days or so.
Real Salt Lake invites all children ages 5 to 14 to participate in our free youth soccer clinics this summer. The next clinic's on Monday, July 25th in Sugar House. There's a ball through to Jura, cleared out, and it'll be a corner for RSL. All the clinics will be conducted by experienced soccer coaches, include giveaways, food, and a special appearance from an RSL player. Don't miss out on the fun. Go to rsl.com/youth soccer clinics to sign up and for more information. Second corner of the evening for RSL. Jordan Allen and Jura inside the 6. Sturzer, Olave, and Glad at the top of the 18. Olave goes up, can't get to that. Inter Milan able to clear, and Tony Beltran will reset. Erkin out wide for Palacio. Palacio defended by Justin Glad. Mello. And Antonella to the post, a diving save.
I think at first it might have fooled Jeff Antonella for a quick second as Kyle Beckerman got his foot up on the deflection of Felipe Melo's shot.
Good job by Antonella to find Plata. Ahead to Jura. Plata using his speed to get back on the ball, trying to connect with Jura. Now lays it off to Burrito. Burrito expecting a run out of Jordan Allen, didn't get it.
Well, one thing to keep in mind, Jura Movsisian scored against Italy in Italy with Armenia. You take another look at the deflected shot. Kyle Beckerman, as Antonella is able to go down to the left-hand side. Movsisian showing time and time again he can get in between the two center backs, Ranocchia and Miranda.
Sturts of the foul there, going up and over Erkin. Tony Beltran, rather. That man bun fools me. Palacio having to pull off that run there. He was in offside position and knew it.
Well, something to keep in mind for Inter Milan and Real Salt Lake. There's probably a capped number of minutes that you're going to see for both of these sets of players on the field right now. For Real Salt Lake, probably no 20-25 minutes into the match. You're going to see a majority of the starting 11 come off the field because of Friday night at home against the San Jose Earthquakes. On the other side for Inter Milan, this first 45 minutes is going to be interesting to see how long Roberto Mancini goes with this group of players. And if he does go through the first half, those wholesale changes, what do they look like in the second 45?
How does 25 minutes, he played in the league for a decade, as here's Burrito with a little bit of space, trying to find Jordan Allen. Jura instead. Burrito back on the ball, into space. Plata. Plata's shot blocked. How does 25 minutes here compare to a training session, as fans wonder? They know there's some level of workout, there's some level of training today. How does this compare as they prepare and look forward to San Jose on Friday?
Yeah, as Jeff Cassar told me in the pregame show, this is usually their heavy load day, meaning that it's usually where the team is worked out pretty hard to try to raise fitness levels, mid-season. So for this, listen, number one, you're playing against the badge of Inter Milan.
Over the top for Riccardi, long run between the two center backs.
Number two, it's an opportunity to kind of showcase yourself, showcase your club, showcase the city. And probably most importantly, and number three is put in a decent performance for yourself, but also recognize it's about getting through unscathed. As I say that, man, my commentator's curse is phenomenal this season.
Really,
as
Jordan
Allen goes down underneath the challenge of the Brazilian Miranda, former Atletico Madrid center back.
How do you do that? What's your secret? Because that, as timely goes, that was just spot on.
It is usually Twitter that dictates when I do this. Take another look as Miranda just comes through the plant foot of Jordan Allen. He's just walked over and apologized to the young attacking player for Real Salt Lake.
Beckerman. Quick counter now. Palacio. D'Ambrosio. And Olave able to reach out with that left foot.
Yeah, I think Icardi would have been offside even if that ball did get through.
Little flick by Burrito. Plata down the left side. Plata with Burrito on his left to Jordan Allen. Back to Plata. To Uran, headed out on Saldi was there. Cody Beltran. Beckerman whipping a ball in. Sturzer. Winger. Winger cuts it back. Winger shot. Jordan Allen rebound. Jordan Allen down.
Handanovic goes through this ball, but both hands coming down right through the back of Jordan Allen. Take another look, Chris Winger. Biambiani has no idea that Chris Winger's right-footed, cuts inside. He laces this, and watch Biambiani as he recovers. Handanovic jumps up immediately, punches the ball, but comes through Jordan Allen as well inside the 18-yard box.
So RSL able to sustain a little possession, create some opportunities, be dangerous in the final third, and now they have their third corner here as we enter the 18th minute. Plata. Olave can't quite get to it. Jordan Allen, a little flick and a goal, and RSL strikes.
As this ball's whipped in, just keep an eye on Jordan Allen. He's onside as the last defender drops on Saldi. Great little individual recognition. He doesn't know much about it as Jordan Allen just turns it with the outside of his left foot. Handanovic is going to the right. The ball goes back across the grain and rolls harmlessly into the back of the net as RSL takes the 1-0 lead 18 minutes into the match.
Jordan Allen with 3 goals in MLS play this year. And now, Dunny, he can always say he scored against Inter Milan. You said earlier, put on a good performance. You're playing a famous badge. Show what you can do. And Jordan Allen puts one in the back of the net and gives RSL the early lead.
Again, it's the very first game of preseason for Inter Milan. The reality is that they have PSG, Estudiantes, Bayern Munich, Tottenham Hotspur, Borussia Mönchengladbach, and Glasgow Celtic before the start of the Serie A season. But listen, regardless, put in the back of your pocket that you've scored against Inter Milan. That's one for the family history books.
I was going to say, those are all facts that need to be ignored when you're telling your grandkids 50 years down the line.
Trust me, you're talking to the guy who lives off 1 goal in 1 tournament, still to this day.
Ball over the top for Winger. Long run for Chris Winger and can't quite get there. Miranda beating him to the ball.
DJ, I was saying it, right around the 20th minute mark is where you would probably see Inter Milan's legs start to get a little bit heavy. A 2-hour flight from Portland this afternoon. Now the heat and the altitude here at Rio Tinto Stadium. Not easy to deal with in the early stages of preseason preparation. It's been a good matchup. Argentine against Argentine. Ansaldi coming over to Inter Milan from Zenit St. Petersburg. He's done well. 1v1 matchups with Burrito Martinez so far in this match.
For RSL away games, follow the action right here on your RSL Network affiliate. Or if you're in Salt Lake City, watch every week at our Budweiser pub partner locations all over the valley. For a list of new locations, including family-friendly ones, visit rsl.com. Thomas Olave once again there as the service comes in from Biabiani. Haven't seen a lot of Thomas Olave. Saw him earlier in the year. Justin Glad got an opportunity though and has done a good job of locking down a spot in the starting 11. Olave, the third center back, getting a chance to put in some minutes tonight. And Icardi heading that one well over the bar. Jeff Attinella in goal. Nick Raimondo the night off with San Jose looming Friday night here at Rio Tinto Stadium. Good game with the Earthquakes trying to put themselves in the middle of a crazy playoff race in the Western Conference. Jeff Cassar with 6 potential substitutes up, warming up just off to the left of the bench. And you said somewhere around 20, 30 minutes. Burrito battling, unable to work his way out of that area. Ranocchia. Over the top, flag stays down. Jeff Attinella. Midway through the first half, have you liked RSL here in the first portion of this first half?
I think they've done okay. I mean, listen, the reality is you're going up against a team that's in preseason that's trying to impress their manager, trying to settle down and solidify.
Palacio, D'Ambrosio, Justin Glad heads it out. Biabiani.
I think what I'm most impressed about from Inter Milan is just the speed in which they close down passing lanes.
Biabiani again, service in. Jeff Attinella out to the 6 to control it.
You know, if you're a fan of tactics, watch the recovery of Inter Milan in these blue jerseys and how they get themselves back into kind of a defensive posture immediately once they turn that ball over. A lot of times it's just Felipe Melo, the big number 5, who drops a little bit deeper, splits the 2 center backs, then you see immediate pressure on the ball. Kondogbia, the way the number 7 hunts for the ball. So much freedom in the movement. But this has always been kind of the telltale card of Roberto Mancini. Tactics defensively first, and then allowing the expressive freedom on the offensive side of things.
Melo trying to spring Palacio there, and it was Olave again. Beckerman down to the ground committing the foul. Bear hugging Melo.
I think the other thing offensively to keep an eye on for Inter Milan is just their individual technique with the ball at their feet and how quickly their decision-making is under pressure. It's one thing to watch kind of the elite teams in Major League Soccer, but you know, even with the mistakes that are being made tonight, you can see the class with the ball at their feet that Inter Milan possesses.
Palacio out wide. Biabiani sends it in, trying to connect with Icardi. Justin Glad cuts it out, gives up the throw-in. defender reads that well. Unable to clear though, and Inter Milan will reset here. Mello, one time from distance up into the crowd.
So much history, so much experience with Felipe Melo. And again, when you're looking at this starting 11, you got to also think about a couple of additions. And for me, you're looking at Jason Murillo, the Colombian international. You're looking at Gary Medel, the Chilean captain, who won Copa America. Even Perisic, the Croatian wide player, who kind of dyed the Croatian flag into his hair. Eder, the Italian national team wide player. Ever Banega, the Argentine, who won 3 consecutive Europa League titles at Sevilla. You think this team's pretty good right now, man. I don't think Inter Milan right now is good enough to win Serie A. I think Juve still has that in their back pocket. Napoli, I think Roma will have something to say. But it'll be really, really fascinating, again, to repeat myself, how the money that's being injected into Inter Milan right now from the Chinese consortium plays into the favor of Roberto Mancini, and can they add a couple incredibly experienced players that still have years left in their legs?
They had the 5 straight titles, with the down times, starting to rebuild, as you mentioned, back to Europa League, because this year they play their way back into Champions League.
Man, I just look
still
at,
difficult given the top of the league.
The thing about Serie A, it's the top 3 teams. And so you look at Juve, you look at Napoli, you look at Roma. Those are 3 incredibly consistent teams throughout the course of the season. By the way, you throw Fiorentina, you throw Lazio, you throw AC Milan into the conversation as well.
Mello with the foul there on Jordan Allen. Take another look here on the America First replay.
Destroyer. Absolute destroyer, Felipe Melo.
Get your Pioneer weekend off to a good start with an RSL home game against San Jose. Kickoff set for 9 p.m. And the match is presented by Life Vantage. For tickets, visit rsl.com or call 844-REAL-TICKS.
You talked about those 6 subs getting up, getting ready to come in. Jeff Cassar is going to go to the bench in a few minutes here. It's going to be Boyd Aquanu, Fanny Cavita, Danny Acosta, Alex Sunley, Omar Holness, Ricardo Velasco, and Olmes Garcia. I'd say right around the 30th minute mark is where you're going to see these substitutions start to happen. No players up on the bench, though, for Inter Milan. Jeff Cassar was talking about, for the club itself, it's a great opportunity to kind of showcase where the club is at. Well, I think more importantly tonight, it's not about these players on the field right now. I think more importantly, it's about the younger players getting their opportunity. And oh, by the way, Chris Schuler is available again tonight for the very first time in over almost 2 years, year and a half. So it's a great opportunity for some of these kids that have been fighting for roster spots, getting on the 18-man game day roster to kind of showcase what their level looks like right now against incredible competition.
Yura coming back to win the ball. Plata, long run. He's not going to be able to get to that. But for these young players, there are roster spots where RSL could use a little more depth, use a little more help. The 2 starting center backs have done a great job of staying healthy, staying on the field. But at some point, a red card, a yellow card accumulation, a little knock could test their depth there. Devin Sandoval going out on loan opens a spot there. Someone behind Yura. Olmes Garcia seems to have that role now. But there's some possibilities there.
Jordan Allen just walked over to the bench and indicated he needs to be substituted off the field. It's not a good look for Real Salt Lake.
Jordan has suffered a couple of hard fouls here. Also had the game's only goal in the 18th minute. Flag is up, Palacio offside.
I think we're going to get another opportunity to see Omar Holness kind of in that playmaker role again tonight, as we did on the road in Vancouver. Take another look as the ball's played up and in, and looks like Palacio just had the wrong side of the shoulder of the last defender in Jamison Olave.
This portion of the match brought to you by America First Credit Union. Utah's #1 credit union, America First Credit Union, where members come first. Beltran, Beckerman, Burrito, Movsisian, Plata, and Glad, all done for the night. Acosta comes on for Justin Glad, homegrown. Omar Holness, seen him get 3 starts here recently. He's on the ball right now. 3 starts in MLS play. Probably get an hour or so here tonight. Holness down the right side. Long run for Holness Garcia. That'll be a throw in for RSL. Biabiani down the right side for Inter Milan. Fanny Kavita out to close him out. Jordan Allen able to clear whatever he had to say on the bench. Didn't get him out of the match. He remains in here after 6 substitutions by Jeff Cassar here at the half-hour mark.
Yeah, you just wondered then maybe Jordan Allen was walking over and saying that somebody else needed to be substituted off. But the adjustments are Holness Garcia will be the point striker. Ricardo Velasco over on the left. Omar Holness will pull the strings. Jordan Allen is now wide right. Danilo Acosta comes in central.
McCarty, shot is saved by Jeff Antonella.
Fanny Kavita will pair up alongside Jamison Olave, and then Boyd Aquanu will be right back for Tony Beltran.
Holness out wide for Velasco.
I'm a big fan of what I've seen so far from Omar Holness. Really, really excited to see his development. It was a bit of a surprise to see him kind of in that hobby role a couple weeks ago, but very, very impressed over the course of the 90 minutes with what he brought to the table, and very quickly has already shown that he has the technical ability to do things while completely different from Javier Morales, still be a connector and a final ball type of passer.
Acosta the foul. Moving towards the 34th minute. RSL with the early lead on Inter Milan on Jordan Allen's goal. In the 18th minute, the little flick just inside the 6-yard box. If you weren't here, we'll have it for you at halftime with stats, highlights, and halftime interviews as well. Erkin, service in. Olave heads it back out. Erkin collects. Omar Holness able to win the ball. Holness. It's 2v4. Holness Garcia. Back to Holness. Unable to settle it. Looked like he might have stepped on the ball there and goes down just to the 18.
Look at that
laughing,
smile.
yeah.
Look at that smile.
That wasn't what he dreamed of doing against Inter Milan.
Such a great personality. I like the ball, too, from Olmis Garcia. Gets it back across, and unfortunately for Omar Holness, as he put his weight on the ball, just kind of up and over, down inside the 18-yard box.
Big switch in behind Winger. Flag stays down. Biabiani able to keep it in play. Winger blocks the service in. And that'll be a throw in for Inter Milan. Or are they going to give him the corner? It looks like it'll be a corner here.
Well, for Chris Winger, right now he's kind of looking across his back line defensively. And the question for me is, who's the verbal leader right now? Fanny Kavita, Boyd Ekwonu, or Jamison Olave? Everyone would think Jamison Olave, but someone has to be communicating across that back four.
Olmis Garcia able to head that ball, long run, and he goes down, and there's an awkward collision.
Oh, he got around Kinnear Erkin, and Ranocchia very fortunate that he got his feet out of the ground. He wasn't planted. Watch the way Olmis Garcia's momentum gets underneath, kind of loses his footing right there. Feet get caught up, and Ranocchia just jumps out at the last second.
Jeff Antonella out, and he's able to cover that up. Good ball sent in by Palacio.
Well, it's a fantastic ball from Palacio. Icardi gets goal side, and that is a great take from Jeff Attinella. Watch how quickly Attinella reacts, gets in front, all body, and then the momentum of Icardi goes up and over, launches himself right to the top of the 6-yard box. Perfectly weighted ball. Proactive coming off his line from Attinella. That's just great goalkeeping right there from RSL's goalkeeper. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Mauro Icardi. 23 years of age, former Barcelona youth, Argentine, 6 years old, moved from Rosario to Spain. His wife is his agent. There's been links to Arsenal, to West Ham. 44 million is what the number's been placed on his head. A lot of reports from Inter Milan saying he is unsellable at this point in his career. But with the money being injected into the club, you just wonder, if it's not going to be spent right now, what does the future look like for Mauro Icardi? Already the captain, 47 goals in just 88 appearances in Serie A.
Okwanu able to win that ball versus Erkin. Tugged down. And you talk about, as important as this is for the starting 11 to look good, guys like Boyd Okwanu, how are they going to perform in this situation with the coaches sitting right there looking at them?
Well, the reality is that every single player in an Inter Milan uniform has been an international, is either an international or has been an international at some level for their country. And the experience of these group of players is phenomenally high. So just stepping on the field against them and understanding and trying to figure out what the tendencies, the strengths, the weaknesses, and how do you implement your own style, your own game, collectively and individually. It turns out to be a great experience. I remember being 20 years old and first couple years in the league with the New England Revolution and playing a Benfica or an Ajax or a Gremio. It sticks with you in the back of your mind forever. It's one of those special moments in your career.
You think the wow factor for a player is higher or lower now that so many games are on TV, so many games are streamed on the web, and you can be so familiar? I mean, you end up calling a lot of these games as Jeff Attinella comes to the post to make another save. You end up calling a lot of these Europa League games, and they're available. And so guys, and you can tell by watching guys' Twitter feeds, they're going to training, they're going home, and they're watching these games. You can see on Twitter they're reacting to them as you watch them.
Well, I think the biggest issue in the United States is flat out the competition of other sports. But you have to be a student of the game. You just can't go to training and then lock up shop, go home, and forget about it. You've got to figure out ways to mentally, physically make yourself better every single day. And what I will say, regardless of the name on the back of the jersey, it's the crest on the front of the jersey that should be a motivating factor for each one of these players, not only in the moment, but in the future. It's the thing we talk about for CONCACAF Champions League, for all of these young kids in Central America that want to showcase themselves on a different level. You know, day in, day out, you get opportunities, but when you have an opportunity like this, with that man's experience sitting on the bench for Inter Milan, the chances of an RSL player going to Inter Milan, 0.01%. But maybe somewhere down the line, as the growth of this league continues, the organization, the infrastructure, the academy system, maybe one day we could see more and more American players with opportunities. But it's chances like this, not just on the field, but for the kids inside the stadium also, to recognize that there could be a possibility to represent such an iconic club like this.
Olave and Icardi battling for the ball. Olave sends it out, and it'll be a corner for Inter Milan.
He does everything right, Jameson Olave. Wasn't sure about the positioning of Icardi, and then just kind of loose pass out for a corner kick opportunity.
Erkin. Shot! And in! Jeff Antonella. Furious palms up. The ball nearly cleared off the line, but instead up into the top of the net.
Well, D'Ambrosio is wide open, and you've got 5 white jerseys stood still at the top of the 6-yard box. And it's a 2v1 situation that's just floated from Kinnear Erkin. And how in the world is D'Ambrosio this wide open? He's got all the time in the world, but still the technique. As he uncorks the hips, watch how quickly he resets his feet, turns his body around, and gets that much power on the ball. That is shocking defensively for Real Salt Lake. Criminal defending. Just absolutely cannot happen for RSL defensively.
Ricardo Velasco there on the line, unable to clear that, got a foot on it. D'Ambrosio levels this at 1-1.
There's nothing more frustrating defensively than conceding a goal like that. Not just for the players on the field, but for the coaching staff as well. At a bare minimum, if you're not sure about who's responsible for the mark, just get arm's length distance between a guy in the blue jersey. That's the bare minimum defensively for Real Salt Lake.
Jordan Allen in the 18th minute for RSL. Now D'Ambrosio leveling this at 1-1. Flag is up. Biabiani, long run offside, marked by Chris Wingard there. So as we move toward halftime, anticipate Jeff Cassar's message to the club, and especially these young guys at the half. Here's Biabiani, and Winger clears it.
I think the message to the kids is go out, express yourself, have fun, but at the same time, defensively keep your shape. I think what we will see is a drastic difference in the quality of play from Inter Milan. When they go to their bench, when they go quote-unquote to the second string of players that are available on this 23-man travel roster for Roberto Mancini. Ever Banega has reported, but he is still in Milan on the backside of Copa America. And again, they're going to have 4, 5, 6 editions on the East Coast when the team heads over there to play Estudiantes and Bayern Munich in a couple weeks. I mean, I think the baseline of Jeff Cassar's conversation is just going to be, let's do the little things as best as we can.
And there's the whistle. We have reached the half. Level at 1. 18th minute, Jordan Allen striking first for RSL, and then off the corner, D'Ambrosio. Leveling us at 1-1 at the half. Coming up, we'll have interviews, statistics, first half highlights. They're all the Italian legend talking to his team. 25 trophies, 13 as manager, 12 as a player. As a player, 36 caps, Italian international.
Yeah, it looks like Jovetic, Bessa, Nagatomo, and Zonta all getting set to come in to start this second 45 minutes for Roberto Mancini.
A lot of questions, and we'll have some time to explore them in the second half. How good is MLS? How does it compare? I mean, I think we know the top 4, maybe even top 6 to 8 leagues. Is MLS 10, 15, 20? And then you see a player like Nagatomo, and we realize soccer in Asia is also improving by leaps and bounds. Where does it stack up? How many truly elite players are being produced in that part of the world? We're starting to see a few more guys from Asia playing in MLS. And obviously, there's J-League opportunities also.
Well, I'm trying to figure out where that question starts and ends.
Where it's a big question. It's Europe and South America.
If you're comparing Major League Soccer to Serie A, at best, you're going to say an MLS team is probably somewhere between 10th and 14th place. That's
one of the better MLS teams, because when you start talking about leagues, there's obviously a wide range of quality inside.
You're just saying year to year in Major League Soccer, there's so much change. I mean, you look at the Portland Timbers and Columbus Crew, who are MLS Cup finalists, and Portland just got on the right side of the playoff line. Columbus, if I'm not mistaken right now, is second to last in the East. There's just, it's such a close season every single year, and every single team changes. The biggest difference between teams isn't just the talent, it's the salary that's associated with the talent.
So Jovetic looks like he'll go up top for Icardi Dunny as we try to figure out the substitutions and the look we're going to see from Inter Milan here in the second half.
Well, you're going to see the changes. Jovetic, Bessa, Nagatomo, Zonta, all coming on. Great opportunity as you kind of see the adjustments. Nagatomo's going to go over to the left-hand side. Keep an eye on him as he's an overlapping outside left back with an incredible amount of speed and athleticism.
RSL, a strong start to this match, a strong first half hour for the starting 11. Now a youthful group out there.
Well, and the tactics has changed as well. That man, Bessa, has come in a little bit more centralized. At times, it's going to look like a 4-3-3 with Zonta playing parallel to Felipe Melo and Kondogbia. Up top, you'll have that man, Palacio. Zonta playing underneath with Jovetic, kind of playing the point striker, the number 10, former Manchester City product, following Roberto Mancini to Inter Milan. Andrew Brody with the foul. Kondogbia goes down. It looks like the nutmeg pops in first, and then as Kondogbia, he wants that left foot, little Cruyff as he cuts it back. Brody just clips the legs, takes him down.
Palacio, good ball in. Jovetic down at the spot. Looked up to see if he'd get the call, and a little conversation there, but it'll be a goal kick for Antonella.
So Andrew Brody coming on, and Jordan Allen had come over and had the conversation with the bench right near the 30th minute mark or so. Came off, headed straight to the trainer's room. Now Brody gets his opportunity.
Brody out of the RSL Academy in Arizona, 3 years at the University of Louisville. Goal in 16 appearances for the Monarchs. Sturzer on the ball there, got the start. Might see him go till about the hour mark here. Look at one of the other starters still in. Acosta ahead to Olmes Garcia. Garcia back to Acosta. Acosta, 2 runners into the 18. Olmes calling for the ball. Acosta the shot.
It's a good build-up down the left-hand side. Velasco, as he gets isolated 1v1. Good ping-down ball from Olmes Garcia. The recovery run from Ansaldi. Velasco, confidence to run at the defender. Gets cut inside. It was always going to be a tough angle to beat the goalkeeper. But he does well to keep his shot on frame. Good little build-up there from Real Soleil.
Sturzer suffering that foul there. Inter Milan in the Europa League this year, plus, of course, domestic play, plus the domestic cup. How deep will their roster go to handle that kind of schedule?
Well, they traveled 23, but between Santon, trying to figure out what's going to happen with him, the outside left back. You've got Dodo, Gary Medel, Adair, Jason Murillo, Perisic, Banega, Juan Jesus. His move to Roma is done and dusted. I still think Inter Milan probably adds 1 or 2 more starting caliber pieces. But the reality is, in Serie A, the quality of players on a roster, the amount of money that they're getting paid, you're looking at 18, 19 deep, start to bottom, for what I would say the top 8, 9 teams in Serie A. Now, once you get into kind of the Champions League conversation, when you're talking about Juve, you're talking about Napoli, you're talking about Roma, the depth is a little bit deeper right there. But listen, this is a big season for Inter Milan. 2 years ago, a really rough stretch. Didn't qualify for either Europa or Champions League. Last year, a 4th place finish. They're going to look to build upon that, plus the addition of the Chinese consortium money. It'll be interesting, again, to see how they spend it and how these games, after playing PSG, Estudiantes, Bayern Munich, Spurs, Mönchengladbach, and ending with Glasgow Celtic, how much changes, who's in, who's out for Roberto Mancini's group of players.
Omar Holness trying to play the big switch there to Ricardo Velasco, who can't quite get on the end of that. Deep roster for RSL tonight. In addition to the regular roster, you see some of the subs warming up. They brought in 8 Monarchs players for this exhibition with Inter Milan. Long run here. Service in. Long run by Jovetic, unable to get on the end of that. Attinella out, quickly finding Omar Holness. We saw in the first half, Jeff able to start a couple of quick counterattacks with his distribution. Winger, Holness, Sturzer, Velasquez for Olmes Garcia. Unable to connect. Sturzer, Olmes Garcia on his left. Into the area, shot, a big save. Holness just beyond the 18, he goes down. Andrew Grody with the long run, the shot. But unable to find the back of the net. We have our first card of the night. Fanny Kavita into the book here in the 54th minute. Flag is up. Jovetic at the top of the 18, but well offside. Let's take another look at that second chance.
Yeah, John Sturzer fighting for position down this left-hand side. Ansaldi keeps the ball in play. Sturzer gets his head up, and as he looks for just the slotted ball to Brody, it's a big save by the goalkeeper. Coming off his line quickly, cutting down the angle immediately.
Chris Winger. Little flick. Velasco felt the tug, turns and pleads his case, but he's not going to get that call.
Well, he's very fortunate, Ranocchia, that D'Ambrosio had dropped in and covered goal side. Great little ingenuity right there from Ricardo Velasco. Flicked that ball up into space behind the big center back. And the recovery run from D'Ambrosio, able to just retain possession for Inter Milan.
Kondogbia fouled there. Game getting a little more physical here in the second half, Dunny. Seen our first card, a few more fouls. Saw a couple of hard fouls in the first 45.
Yeah, I would imagine that Kondogbia and Felipe Melo, 2 players that'll start putting in a little bit more of the hard tackles as the legs start to go here at altitude.
And Salvia, the service all the way through the 18 and out the other side. Kondogbia back into the area, headed out by Chris Winger. Omar Holness. Holness over the top. Olmes Garcia showing off the speed. One touch shot, far post and wide and out.
Olmes Garcia pinning the ears back. D'Ambrosio closes down the angle. Always going to be difficult to execute for the less preferred left foot, but lately we've been starting to see glimpses of Olmes Garcia of old as he's working his way back into that 18-man game day roster after suffering a series of injuries over the past couple of seasons.
This portion of the match is sponsored by Utah's #1 credit union, America First Credit Union, where members come first.
Ricardo Velasco, second player to be booked by the referee, goes in the book 57th minute. Palacio as he comes across, yikes. Leaves a boot up, absolutely. Yellow card.
Palacio thinking he got clipped there.
Well, something happened to Amundsen Olave. He's just pinged that ball over the sideline. Can't really tell what happened, but I think when the collision came together with Rodrigo Palacio, I think something might have come up into the eye, maybe a hand come up into the eye. As Olave wins the ball, he just knocks it out of bounds. And hold on tight, RSL fans. It may only be short term, but for the first time in a long, long time, we're going to see Chris Schuler in an RSL uniform on the field here at Rio Tinto Stadium. We're also seeing a change from Roberto Mancini. Juan Pablo Carrizo comes in and replaces Samir Handanovic in goal. Listen to the ovation as Chris Schuler returns to Rio Tinto's field. First time in a long time as all the RSL hopeful are waiting for him to return to the full squad. Not just Real Monarchs, but the full squad for Real Salt Lake.
Amundsen Olave's night is done here, 59th minute. And for Schuler, there's just been so many injuries over the years, Dunny.
First appearance since July 15th of 2015 for Chris Schuler.
And not just the 2015 and 16 seasons that have been impacted by injuries. The left foot in 2012, his right foot in 2013. It's really been an ongoing saga with injuries, and his health shot from distance up into the crowd there. Jovetic taking his first shot of the evening. And so for Chris Schuler, it's been a long road, a lot of ups, a lot of downs. Chris Wingert. Long ball for Olmes Garcia. Carrizo, the keeper, is out. Now retreating back into goal. Olmes Garcia waiting for some support. Velasco back to Wingert. Sturzer. Garcia. Garcia, big switch. Guanu. Velasco settles for Holness. Holness, shot! And Carrizo down to make the save.
I have been very, very impressed with what I've seen from Olmes Garcia tonight. He is recognizing spaces in the field to explore, to capitalize, and his speed right now is just full tilt against Inter Milan's two center backs. Take another look at the build-up. Velasco recognizing that Omar Holness is there for the layoff. Fights through the on-running pressure of two defenders for Inter Milan. Unfortunately, just doesn't catch it cleanly.
Velasco trying to split the center backs for Garcia. Bessa playing the ball out wide. Bessa out wide to get it back. And the crowd applauding Boyd Ogwanu over there as he battles Bessa along the far sideline.
We're about to see three changes for Jeff Cassar. Luke Mulholland, Tamar Phillips, and Lalo Fernandez going to get an opportunity to showcase tonight. Jeff Attinella, Chris Wingert, John Sturzer, all coming off for Real Salt Lake.
America First Credit Union substitutions. Lalo Fernandez, Real Monarchs goalkeeper. Has not made an MLS appearance yet. His father was a goalkeeper, played in Mexico in the first division. There's John Sturzer, put in an hour's worth of work tonight. Luke Mulholland in for Sturzer. Service in, and DeMar Phillips marking Jovetic there, and he sends it just over Fernandez and the bar and out.
If you've been watching some of these friendlies over the past couple of summers, Steven Jovetic might look familiar for a Man City fan as well. A couple of years ago, was in the United States with City. He and Iheanacho were the front runners for City at the time for Manuel Pellegrini. And Jovetic was so incredibly impressive during that summer tour in the United States. Things kind of went sideways with the competition at City, but he was a big pickup for Roberto Mancini at Inter Milan, and unfortunately for Jovetic, goal-scoring wise, hasn't consistently found the playing time or the back of the net as often as expected, but still an incredibly talented young striker, just 26 years of age for the Montenegro international.
For RSL away games, follow the action right here on your RSL Network affiliate. Or if you're in Salt Lake City, watch each week at our Budweiser Pub Partner locations all over the valley. For a list of new locations, including family-friendly ones, visit rsl.com. Just joining us here, all the scoring in the first half. Jordan Allen, just inside the 6-yard box, flicking in the game's first goal in the 18th minute. And then just before the half, D'Ambrosio on the corner, unmarked, equalizing with a rocket. Jeff Attinella had no chance to get to. 1-1 at the half, still 1-1 here, all level in the 65th minute. First time we've seen a European club come to play RSL here at Rio Tinto Stadium. Real Madrid at Rice-Eccles Stadium back in the day. And also Everton was here for an MLS All-Star game.
Everton was at Rice-Eccles. Boca Juniors was at Rice-Eccles. Everton the only team to step foot at Rio Tinto Stadium for the MLS All-Star game. Neil Curry has come on and replaced Kondogbia alongside Felipe Melo for Roberto Mancini. We were wondering how long some of the big name players were going to play. Ranocchia, Felipe Melo right now, the two players looking at significant minutes tonight.
Mulholland will switch sides. DeMar Phillips. DeMar Phillips getting the ball caught up underneath his feet, giving it away. Good recovery run there by Brody to win the ball back for RSL. If you were with us on the pregame show, RSL owner Doy Hansen explained as the flag is up offside, explained that we'll see more of these international exhibitions now. Part of the new training facility and academy he's building at Harriman. And just as right now we see Inter Milan based in Oregon and flying in and out for this game, he expects some of the bigger European clubs to be based here in Utah and travel in and out to games in LA, the Bay Area, Seattle, Vancouver, wherever they're headed in the western half of the United States.
Well, we've seen back-to-back summers for the Montreal Impact. Last summer it was Chelsea. This time it's Real Madrid. Inter Milan based up at the University of Portland. It's kind of that mentality, if you build it, they will come. The great thing about Salt Lake City in terms of where the landscape is in the United States, it's almost kind of the perfect base, because if you put a team like Inter Milan here for say 2.5 weeks, want to play a game in Portland, that's a 2-hour flight. You want to go down to LA, that's an 1.5 hours. Want to go down to Dallas, that's 2 hours. Want to get to Chicago, you're talking 2.5, 3. location-wise, it really is the perfect place. Then you talk about the heat and the altitude. In terms of a training facility, there's a huge, bright future here for what the plans are for Real Salt Lake and Deloy Hansen.
Deloy Hansen explained in the pregame show that would be a chance for exhibitions, but also be a chance for training for academy players to watch a European power training. And you've been big on this. That if you see a foul, Omar Holmes. I think we're going to have another card, first of the night for Inter Milan. Third card of the game, but first for Inter. And you've been a big proponent of exposing players to the game, having them watch individuals, see, hey, what can I learn? What can I borrow? Tricks of the trade. What did these guys do that set them apart?
Well, and the reality with technology that comes along with that as well is you will continue to see teams sending clips to players' phones, and the reality of how do your individual matchups look and getting them to you immediately. Listen, for young players, it's getting outside the comfort zone of the United States. It's going abroad, it's going to South America, getting games, putting yourself in uncomfortable environments to continue to grow, not only as a player, but as a person as well.
And Deloy Hansen also explained that MLS will work with him going forward. Hopefully, the schedule really congested this year, made it difficult, although they're doing it here tonight. But hopefully, it'll fit into the schedule a little better, a little less awkwardly going forward. DeMar Phillips with the block there and conceding the corner.
Well, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I believe that should MLS teams want to showcase international friendlies like this, there should be a block of about a 2-week window where it doesn't fall into a Saturday to Friday window where potentially you can showcase your best players and you can get your full roster on the field for 90 minutes. We've seen it kind of time and time again. The biggest one for me is LA Galaxy against a Barcelona or Real Madrid or a Manchester United, where first half they can play a majority of their starters, second half they play their subs. The next thing you know, it's 6-7, 8-0. I know it gets complicated because you're talking about Copa America, you're talking about Gold Cup, you're talking about Euros, you're talking about World Cup. All of those things
and for a lot of
come into play.
And for a lot of the big market clubs in Major League Soccer, and let's face it, a lot of these big European clubs, this is a branding opportunity. They want to sell jerseys. They want to be in the bigger markets. But when you start giving big markets midweek games, it's really difficult. Try to get around on an LA freeway and get to a Galaxy game midweek.
Well, not only that, I think you start to find yourself in a really interesting conversation when it comes to, say, clubs like Serie A, who was probably the one league that was the slowest to catch up to the social media kind of window, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all the different ways of really connecting with fan bases. Because for so long, it was such an iconic brand that I think you started to see a lot of different clubs taking gigantic steps forward, while Serie A would kind of ignored that realm.
Luke Mulholland, the timely step. RSL trying to counter. Omar Holness looks left, now back to Luke Mulholland. Mulholland out to the right side. Brody. Olmes Garcia, flag stays down. Garcia, Velasco. Trying to pick out that upper 90 into the crowd. Velasco showed well here.
He really has. And while Real Salt Lake is capable to showcase some of this up-and-coming talent from Real Monarchs, the same goes for Roberto Mancini, as he's brought in Laris Zonta, the number 91. He's now brought in the number 93, Axel Mohamed Bakayoko. For all the big names that are missing for Inter Milan, that means a couple of the under-21s, quote-unquote reserves, the academy kids stepping through the system that they're developing from the ground up, get an opportunity to prove whether they can stay with the team or they'll be sent out on loan for another season.
Garcia. DeMar Phillips. Shot from distance and up into the crowd. A little frustration there.
I'll tell you what, if DeMar had a right foot, kind of like Chris Winger, he had Bakayoko dipping inside, outside, and turned on top of his head. Just needed that right foot confidence to get that shot on frame.
Get your Pioneer weekend off to a good start with an RSL home game against San Jose. Kickoff is set for 9, and the match is presented by LifeVantage. For tickets, visit rsl.com or call 844-REAL-TIX.
I think it becomes an interesting conversation, DJ, when you look at kind of the substitution patterns for both of these teams. You could say right now that Real Salt Lake is definitely holding their own against this group of players from Inter Milan. I don't think you can essentially make the same type of argument when it's the best 11 versus the best 11. But very, very impressed with what I've seen from these substitutes for Jeff Gasol.
Good build up here from Inter, and the ball whipped in. DeMar Phillips can't get to that. Settled back in front of the shot, just wide. Good ball in, Bakayoko. As that ball started to come out the far side, centered it right back. And Jovetic just couldn't keep it on, or excuse me, Palacio just couldn't keep it on frame.
Oh, it's service from the left-hand side, and as it gets his way all the way over, DeMar Phillips is cut inside. Bakayoko just pings the ball to Jovetic. He does not miss by much. He ends up hitting the towel and the water bottle from Lalo Fernandez just inches past the outside of that left post.
Jovetic with a good opportunity there. There haven't been very many for Inter Milan here in the second half since they equalized level this match just before halftime.
Yeah, I was talking about him earlier, just probably 10 minutes or so. A couple summers ago with Man City.
Jovetic. Lalo Fernandez out. Back to Jovetic. Little chip ball. Post hits the post. And RSL into the clear.
Remember what I was just talking about with Jovetic?
He said he had shown well in previous summer tours.
Now picture what you just saw, him chipping that ball. Watch this as he pings that left post. It's a good ball in. Bakayoko, watch the touch. Just clips that ball. Now imagine him 2 summers ago with the Iheanacho. And what he's done at Man City. And those two just tore up the United States for Manuel Pellegrini and company.
Nagatomo, defended by Phillips. Palacio dropping deep. Palacio. In front, ball's loose.
That's a good ball played across from Palacio. It's an even better touch from Jovetic, and then Bakayoko ends up pushing at the back of the net, but this ball crosses the end line. I don't know, man. I think the AR is a good 4 or 5 yards behind the play. I think Palacio has done well. Take another look. All ball. Man, that is close. Benefit of the doubt plays in favor of Real Salt Lake. Kevon Frater getting set to come in for Real Salt Lake.
Nagatomo. Flag is up. Jovetic offside. Lalo Fernandez. Long ball, almost Garcia. And the flag is up on Garcia. He's offside.
I think tonight, to be quite honest with you, DJ, is the first time in a long time we've been able to see the speed of Olmes Garcia. I can't remember a time in the last 2 years that I've seen him flying the way he is tonight. By the way, What a great day, what a great showing right there from Ricardo Velasco. Coming in around the 30th minute mark. I think he has been fantastic with the opportunity that has been presented to this young player. On comes Kevon Frater.
Another America First Credit Union substitution. And now Palacio's night is done.
Pinamonti, another young player through the academy system of Inter Milan, comes on and replaces the Boca Juniors legend, Rodrigo Palacio. I still think you should grow that awesome little rat tail. Look great on television.
Career advice from Dunny. Thank you, Dunny. You're the man.
You're welcome. Just looking out for you.
Are these free, or do you charge for this level of genius?
To be determined.
This portion of the match brought to you by America First Credit Union. America First Credit Union, where members come first. Garcia the flick on, but Rizzo out.
That's a good read right there from DeMar Phillips. Kevon Frater will be on this left-hand side. Omar will pull the strings. Brody on the far side. Holmes Garcia at the point of the attack for Real Salt Lake.
Heavy touch there. Chris Schuler able to clear the ball out to midfield for RSL.
Although Curry's still down behind the play, that 50-50 challenge with Luke Mulholland. Hard but fair challenge. Take another look as Mulholland, the ball's played out. And it goes through, ball, bottom of the studs, kind of catch him up. Right on the exposed shin.
Let's take a look at the goals and how we got to 1-1 here as we're into the 80th minute now. Both the goals in the first half. Jeff Cassar talking with Holmes Garcia. Omar Holness.
Well, it started off a corner. Joao Plata in-swinger from the far side. Took a deflection on the way in. Actually came off the number 7, Jeffrey Condopia. Right place, right time. As Jordan Allen just redirects it past Handanovic, and then such a bad mistake defensively for Real Salt Lake. Corners, you just got to mark up 1v1 at worst. D'Ambrosio, got to give him full credit. Great job of kind of unhooking that left eye, keeping that shot down on frame with power and accuracy.
That second goal coming just a couple minutes before the half, and we remain level at 1 here in the 81st minute. Jeff Cassar cycling through the roster tonight. Pointed out today would normally be a fairly intense day training, and he's tried to get most of the guys who you're going to see Friday against San Jose Earthquakes, tried to get them about 30 minutes of action. For most of the bigger names that came early, although he held a couple guys back, keep a couple of veterans, a little poise here on the field late with some of the younger guys, Luke Mulholland coming on for the final half hour. We didn't see Nick Romano tonight. We didn't see Javier Morales tonight, but most everybody else got at least half an hour.
Yeah, Javi didn't even dress tonight. Well, now it's the 19-year-old Fabio Della Giovanni under 19 Italian international. He can come on and replace the injured Nokuri. 25, 30-minute run out for Nokuri. As much as we talked about Real Salt Lake wanting to be unscathed coming through this friendly, same goes for Inter Milan and Roberto Mancini ahead of some big games and their preparations for Europa League and Serie A.
For RSL, it'll be a critical game Friday night against San Jose. The Earthquakes running 8th in the West, but they also know if they were able to get the full 3 points, they'd put themselves right back in the mix, and it'd basically be 5 teams battling for the last 3 playoff spots in the West. With most teams still having at least a dozen, maybe even more than that, games left in the regular season. Big game for RSL and San Jose Friday night here at Rio Tinto Stadium.
Yeah, and San Jose coming off one of the more freaky results in Major League Soccer. Down 2 men because of 2 red cards by the 54th minute, yet somehow beat Toronto FC at home 2-1.
Ball whipped in. This corner kick brought to you by Mountain America Credit Union. Have 2 times the summer fun with double rewards from Mountain America's Visa credit card. Details at macu.com. Kamar Phillips the throw in for RSL.
See, you look great with that. A little rat tail right there, you would look fantastic.
Holmes Garcia. And Carrizo under pressure will just clear it up into the crowd. Give RSL the throw in along the far side.
I can't get that look out of my head right now.
I'm just going to change the topic, go right back to the game. You're not helping.
Oh, man.
Even when it's about me, it's about you.
There's got to be someone on Twitter that can hook me up with a picture of David James with Rodrigo Palacios hairstyle.
You're begging now.
Please put that.
It either happens. It either happens or it doesn't. Don't
Someone
beg.
can do it.
Don't beg. Lalo Fernandez, well out beyond the 18 to clear that ball. Phillips.
Yeah, it's important, just simplistic possession, and it's all based off triangle passing for Real Salt Lake.
Almost a brilliant ball from Luke Mulholland there. A slight touch, but Brody the thumbs up. That was a good look, and a few groans from the crowd. They thought they had something there.
Yeah, and again, we're kind of seeing flip-flopped defensively. Ansaldi had come over to this near side. Now Nagatomo comes over as Della Giovanni is now as an outside left back for Inter Milan's back four.
You talked about Olmes Garcia and his play tonight, how much you've liked it. A little build up here from Inter Milan. Ball coming out wide. A little flick, and then Luke Mulholland will clear. Olmes Garcia has had quite a few appearances, but usually very brief. I think it's a longer chunk of time that has helped him. Good counter here as the game really opening up. In the final 10 minutes, ball chipped in. Holness chests it down, and flag is up.
Well, they're going to call a foul on Kevon Frater, just barreling into the last defender inside the 6-yard box. To your question about Ole Miss, yeah, minutes matter. Take another look as he comes right through the back of Ranocchia. It's the right decision from the referee. The big thing for Ole Miss is to get minutes, to get consistent minutes. And it's not just the physicality part, it's the mental part as well.
Danny Kavita might have been beaten there, a little tug.
Yeah, it started with Pinamonte, and the referee recognized earlier.
Jovetic. Bessa. And Chris Schuler able to win the ball for RSL, trying to find Olmis Garcia down the left side. The ball comes all the way back to Schuler. Holness with a good turn finds Luke Mulholland. Luke out wide to Brody. Academy product, University of Louisville. He's been dangerous a couple times tonight. Phillips. Phillips wanting to get the ball on that preferred left foot. And when he does, he loses it. Frater, another foul. First chance to see some of these Monarch players. We rarely get the chance. Their schedule flip-flop from RSL when they're in town. RSL's usually out of town, we're on the road. I think we see how physical Frater can be. That's clear here. And as I say that, Frater commits another foul. It's not shying away from contact, that's for sure. Nakatomo. Right to Lalo Fernandez. Stoppage time is brought to you by Mountain American Credit Union's Visa Rewards credit card, featuring double points through July 31st. Details at MSU.com. Brody into the area. And instead of the shot, tries to drop the ball off back towards the top of the 18. Unable to connect with Okwanu. We're going to have 2 minutes of stoppage time brought to you by Mountain American Credit Union's Visa Rewards credit card. Double points through July 31st. Details at MSU.com. 2 minutes of time. Schuler unable to clear that ball. Slight touch. It'll go out, and it'll be a goal kick for Fernandez.
Yeah, you think there's any hesitation from Chris Schuler at this point in his recovery? Man, the way he just stepped in on Bakayoko, just dropping that 6'5" frame. It's been a good showing tonight. I think both sides are going to be happy with what they've gotten out of this 90 minutes. For Real Salt Lake, first 30 minutes, get the first team off the field. Everyone comes through unscathed. Let the young kids come out and showcase what they can do. For Roberto Mancini and Inter Milan, very first official match of the 2016-17 Serie A season as they prepare for Europa League as well. I think he'll be content with getting the first phase of base fitness underneath their belt for a very difficult season in Serie A.
Ball over the top, Schuler back. Jovetic! Back heel, Felix Fernandez and scores. And in the 92nd and probably final minute, Inter Milan takes a 2-1 lead on a quality goal.
You remember what I was saying about Stevan Jovetic, 26-year-old Montenegro international. It's a ball up over the top. He brings it over well, and how many players in the world not only think about this, but can execute? I mean, listen, skill versus luck, you can have as much of an argument as you want, but that is just a filthy, filthy goal right there from Jovetic. Take another look. Sorry, Lalo. I love you to death. I apologize that that happened to you, but what a goal that was right there from that man, the number 10. Stevan Jovetic, what looks to be the game winner for Inter Milan.
Well, it's a minimum of 2 minutes of stoppage time. There's the final whistle. And Jovetic, at the death, gives Inter Milan the 2-1 win over RSL. Handshake Jeff Cassar will probably remember for a while. John Sturzer, right place, right time. Get the right jersey.
He won the jersey lottery.
He won the jersey lottery.
Well, we saw 3 fantastic chances created from Jovetic. One that he missed where he hit the water bottle and the towel just inches past the outside of the left post of Lalo Fernandez. One, the delicate chip that hit that far right post. And then the finish with the back heel from an acute 10 yards out through the legs of Lalo Fernandez.
Well, the crowd wanted to show, and they got one with a quality goal, the decisive goal in stoppage time to give Inter Milan the win. And they got the thrill early as RSL struck first. Jordan Allen putting them on the board. 2-1 the final here. The defensive play of the game is brought to you by Toyota. Toyota lets you go places. A young fan who couldn't quite make it through the night.
Well, as Sturzer plays the ball out to the left-hand side, Chris Winger gets his head up. Little chop on Biabiani. And good save from Handanovic, who then just lays out 6'5" frame to make sure Jordan Allen is contested for his redirection header back on frame.
Chris Schuler greeting the fans here. Going around the field at Rio Tinto Stadium, giving everybody in the front row a 5. Inter Milan, 2-1 victors. The Ford post-game show is coming up. Stay with us.